What's up, guys? So in this one we're going to rank red pill narratives or red pill talking points, red pill lies, red pill myths. Yeah, how true are they? And I know this is a very hot topic because a lot of guys, they are using certain talking points as ideological protection shield for why they are not succeeding in dating. Yeah, so we're going to talk about these red pill points and which ones are true, which ones aren't. And I know that a lot of you guys, after 2 minutes of watching this video, you're already going to run to the comment section, and calling me names, or you're going to start arguing talking points. Yeah, you're either going to do one of those two. So it's very predictable what you guys are doing. But what I want you guys to realize is that you're not going to tell me something that I've already heard. All of these talking points that you're going to write in the comment section, to you that sounds, wow, that's new, like I found it out last week. Well, yeah, to me, I've already heard those talking points millions of times. Most of you guys, like 99% of you guys, you never read a book. You never educated yourself properly on this subject. So that's why a lot of you guys will have misconceptions and will have lazy interpretations about these talking points. That's what I will help you guys to correct, so that you can get your mind straight and that you can start getting better results in your dating life. Because that's ultimately the goal. At least that is the goal of my channel, to help guys succeed in dating so that they become happy as a result. Yeah, because you cannot become happy without having a great dating life. That's just the truth. So that brings us to the first talking point, which is that women have too high dating standards nowadays. Yeah, this one is a leak of its own. Yeah, this is just such a blatant lie. This is just so ridiculous when guys say this, because women are selective, and women always have been selective, and women will be selective up until the end of time. And 99% of guys that will regurgitate this talking point in my comment sections or when I call this out, they will not have a proper profile photo on their Instagram or on their whatever social media platform. Yeah, they will not approach women. They will not have a proper funnel, a proper strategy to meet women on a consistent basis. They will just play the victim. They will just say, yeah, women have too high dating standards. Because it's not difficult nowadays, guys, to take proper photos, to approach women, and to build a proper funnel. If you are not getting laid nowadays, then that's 100% your fault. That has nothing to do with women's dating standards. There are more women than ever before in human history. Yeah, there's more ways to meet women than ever before in human history. You need to build a funnel, get a strategy, and then you just meet women on a predictable basis. Let them come to you. Yeah, you can do the things with the dating apps. This cold approach thing, you can do it. Build a social circle. Go to nightclubs. Build a funnel that works for you. And then you will see women's dating standards, they're not that high. It requires you to learn the right skills. And when you have the right skills, then it's very easy to meet women and to also get laid and to have great relationships with them, whatever your goal is in the end. Yeah, so this is just a total victim narrative. I would agree, okay, women's standards, they have gone up since social media. I can agree with that. But the idea that women's standards are astronomical nowadays is just total BS. Yeah, and it's just a way for guys to play the victim. Then the next talking point, what we hear very often, is that women only sleep with elite men nowadays. And I will not deny that women are hypergamous. Yes, they are. But in order for you to meet the bar, that is not hard, because the bar in dating is so incredibly low. And also, this is statistically, it's impossible that women only sleep around with elite men nowadays. Because if that was happening, then the men of the top, the top 10%, as you guys like to say, those guys, they will need to sleep with hundreds of women. Is that happening? No, because even if we look in the statistics, in order for you to be in the top 5%, you need to sleep with 30 women in your entire lifetime. Think about how low that is. That is one woman every year, more or less. Yeah, that is not rotating 15 girls and a chat is like banging all the girls in your city. It's not happening. Then we also need to take into account that men tend to inflate the amount of numbers that they come up with. Yeah, I slept with such amount of women. This is just statistically, it's impossible. Yes, women, they date up directionally. Yeah, they always want to date up. Yeah, but to become that guy that has good photos online, yeah, that approaches women regularly, that has a social circle strategy, whatever funnel you come up with, yeah, whatever funnel you build, yeah, you do not have to follow my strategy, follow someone else's strategy, if that's what you like. But build a funnel, meet women on a predictable basis, get laid, build relationships. Also, as a below average guy, yeah, that has a little bit of a belly, you can also succeed in dating nowadays. Yeah, and many guys are doing it. So that brings us to the next talking point, which is that birth rates are collapsing because of women. And that's total BS, because birth rates are collapsing in the whole world, except sub-Saharan Africa, basically. Japanese people, Chinese people, like all these countries all around the world, they have collapsing birth rates. So is that the result of is that the fault of feminism, or is that the fault of women? No, it's not. It's because the truth is birth rates are collapsing because people do not want to have kids. Men do not want to have kids, and women also do not want to have kids. People want to have a middle-class lifestyle where they have very low levels of responsibility. But the moment that you decide, okay, I want to have 5 or 6 kids, you are going to take a massive burden of responsibility on your shoulders as a man, and also for the woman. Men are not ready to do that, yeah? And women also do not want to do that, because people want to go on holidays twice per year, especially Europeans, yeah? They want to travel to Spain and Italy 3 times per year. Well, how are you going to do that if you have 5 kids? That's why people do not want to have it, because it's a lifestyle choice. Yeah, and that is for the same for people all around the world. And it also has nothing to do with the cost of living or economics or politics or all of that nonsense. Yeah, it has to do with that people just do not want to have kids, because back in the day, hundreds of years ago, people had wars. There was like all kinds of like nasty stuff happening every single day. Life was a lot harder than it is right now. But people had massive families because they wanted to have them. So that brings us to the next point, which is that feminism ruined dating. Yeah, this is also just horseshit, because the truth is that feminism is just a paper tiger. Yeah, you see the same things that you see in Western countries everywhere around the world. And also because, especially in Red Bull spaces, they will say, well, women are encouraged to follow a career and to disrespect men. Yeah, they are not. Women are told to just get a job. Just like nowadays, women in Saudi Arabia are also told to get a job. Yeah, even in the most conservative countries or all around the world, people are being told to get a job. Yeah, and just like they do to men. But the moment that women, they start to enter the workforce, here's where, guys, they are right. The moment women, they start to enter the workforce, they do not need a man anymore. So they don't need to cling on to him for provisioning and protection and all of that stuff. What happens in that moment is that dating becomes a skill-based game. You need to be attractive as a guy. Women only go nowadays for men that they genuinely want. Yeah, that they genuinely want to have hot bedroom fun with. And how do you become that guy? You build a funnel, you get a strategy, yeah, you work on your attractiveness as a guy, yeah, and you do not cling on to victim narratives like all of the odds are stacked against me, and the world is so unfair, and blah 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 blah. You just work on your attractiveness. The only thing that you can do ultimately is control your own input in dating anyway. So that brings us to the next point, which is I should work on myself. Yeah, that's largely true. But unfortunately, what most guys, they will do when they hear chase excellence, not women, is that they will think, oh, I should not date women at all. I should ignore them. I should avoid them. And instead go to the gym and work on my biceps and get a promotion at work, build my business. And then women, they will want me in the end. That's also what a lot of guys, they believe. Yeah, if I just make more money, yeah, if I just work on myself, then the women will come. Yeah, that's just horseshit, yeah. But yeah, you should work on yourself. Yeah, you should get a great career, build a business, do something productive with your life. Yeah, because that's also going to make you more attractive to women. Yeah, you should work on your physique, on your health, and all of the stuff that makes you a better guy overall, and that makes you happier ultimately. Yeah, women can be a byproduct of that. 90% of men, they will misinterpret this, unfortunately. But overall, yeah, good idea. So that brings us to the next point, which is that virgins are more likely to bond with you and to be loyal. Yeah, and this is mostly true. The problem is with this narrative is that guys, they will hear this and they will think, whoa, that means that I'm entitled to virginity, right? Most of you guys, you do not realize that all of your dating preferences, they only become relevant the moment that you are an attractive guy that has options. But the vast majority of guys, they are not willing to do the work. They are not willing to change to become that guy that women genuinely want, that has a funnel, that has a strategy, that dresses properly, that has a sense of humor and charm, and that knows how to navigate long-term relationship dynamics. Most guys do not want to learn that, so they look for a shortcut. And what is the shortcut? Getting a virgin. Because if she only slept with me, yeah, then she will stay loyal forever. No, she will also leave you. She will leave you because you are boring to her. And she will also see her girlfriends like going out and about, and they date guys that are way more exciting, way more attractive than you. Guys that are properly competing in the dating marketplace. Dating virgins, that's totally fine as a preference. The moment that you as a guy have the experience, you have done all of the work that you need to do to become a great offer on the dating market, then it's totally fine that you're going to have a preference to date virgins. What I hear these guys say, because guys that say this, yeah, virgins, they are more likely to pair bond with you. It's still guys with shitty photos online, still guys that are not approaching. Yeah, and they think that they are somehow, that virgin will somehow just show up in their dating lives. No, it's not going to happen. The truth is that if you really want to make a virgin, yeah, you need to have a good, really good strategy, really good funnel. As a result of that, when you work the right amount of volume, then you're also going to eventually, meet a virgin. And then you can get into a relationship with her if that's genuinely what you want. But dating virgins nowadays, it doesn't happen without doing the work. So that's it. So that brings us to the next one, which is that women sleep with many men nowadays. Yeah, this is also just total horseshit. Statistically, it's impossible, but also I used to believe this myself. Yeah, women are sleeping around, but like total madness nowadays. Up until I went on hundreds of dates myself, and I saw that these kind of women, they often have massive gaps between the guys that they date. I dated many women with very low body counts that are very selective. Yeah, women are selective. You guys need to accept it. Yeah, that's just the way it is. I know that a lot of you guys will use this as a victim narrative. The only guys that believe this are guys that are not getting laid. Or your funnel is just shit and you're constantly attracting women with high body counts. Yeah, because that shouldn't happen. Yeah, you should build a funnel that draws in the right kind of women. This is just horseshit. Also because, studies show time after time, for you to be a guy of the top, the top 5%, they sleep with 30 women in their entire lifetimes. Yeah, so that's just very low. The women overall in most Western countries, they sleep with somewhere between 5 and 7 guys in their entire lifetimes. I know that it sounds very hard for a lot of you guys because you emotionally cling on to this idea. Oh, women, all of these women, they are sluts and whores, and they are bad bets for maternity. Yeah, but it's just not happening. Brings us to the next point. Marriage will ruin your life. 100% true. This deserves a category of its own. You should never get married. Yeah, marriage is dumb. Only if you're a total simp, you would get married. Because basically what you do when you get married is you basically tell her, woman, here are my balls. Yeah, my balls, I give them to you. I will put you in charge of everything. I'm a total buffoon. Like the custody of our kids, that will be the decision of some people in suits and in fancy clothing in a courtroom. Yeah, you're a total buffoon nowadays if you get married. And it will ruin your life if you get married. I know a lot of you guys, you still want to get married. It's just dumb, man. Just don't do it. Brings us to the next point. Alpha widows. Yeah, this is also, there's some truth to it. But then the question becomes, okay, how much percent of the women out there are alpha widows? Yeah, we do not know. Yeah, can someone pull up those statistics? Yeah, how many women are still thinking about their ex? Yeah, out there, we do not know. 5%, 10%, 90% of women, mostly Red Pill guys, they will think, well, because she slept with 5 men in her entire lifetime, that means that she's now alpha widowed. No, it doesn't mean that she's alpha widowed. But even if there were, let's say 30% of women out there, which is astronomically high, yeah? 30% of women out there are alpha widows. Yeah, then what's the best next step for you to take? Yeah, you need to become a great offer on the dating market. You need to build a funnel. You need to get a proper dating strategy. You need to work on your attractiveness. And then you just find someone that isn't an alpha widow. At least give you guys the credit. Yeah, you shouldn't date women that are hung up on their exes. About that, it's mostly true. Yeah, we live in a guy-centric society. Yeah, that's 100% true. Also deserves it's a class of its own. Yeah, because the truth is that the people that run our society, the people that are in the courtrooms, that are the people in the government, they're either simps or they are women. Yeah, there's nothing in between. But what are you going to do about it? You cannot do anything about it. Unless you as a guy, you plan to grab the power by undemocratic means and you just start to do whatever you want. Yeah, you need to have dictatorial power to basically change this. And no one is going to do that. So that's why complaining about it is not going to change anything. What you need to do is basically become the best and most attractive version of yourself. Ignore society. Society is already burning. You're not going to take your fire extinguisher and save the West. It's not going to happen. You better work on your own attractiveness. Yeah, be self-interested and focus on the things that you can control. Because society is not going to change for you just because you want it. Also not because I want it. I've done that for many years myself. I was very disappointed and that's why I gave up on that. So it brings us to women are dumb past 28. Yeah, this is mostly false. Yeah, it could be true. I used to believe this. Yeah, don't date single moms. Don't date women that are older than 30. Up until I started to do it. And actually I have to say that dating women that are older, it can be, it has its pros. And it also has its cons, yeah. Just like dating younger women, it also has, pros and cons. But that's where I really started to put this Red Pill theory, to the test. you will see even very often that these women, they could be better for you than the women that are really young. Just look at it. Okay, how does she treat me? Is she really someone that is going to make my life better, is going to enrich my life? Brings us to the next point, which is that shaming them will make them fall in line. Yeah, this is just horseshit. Shaming women doesn't change anyone's behavior, because you will see all of these left-wing types, on television. Oh, we need to shame men to get out of the house so that we can solve the loneliness epidemic. Is that changing anything? Does that change men's behavior? No, it doesn't. And does shaming women for their promiscuity, does that change anything? No, it doesn't change anything. Yeah, so this is just total horseshit. It's a waste of time, and you're better off just focusing on the things that you can control. Build a funnel, get a strategy, get your act together in your dating life. And that's also what I help guys to do. Yeah, I work with a handful of clients on a monthly basis for them to get the results that they're looking for in their dating lives. Those are the things that you can control. Always control your own inputs, fix your dating life, and then you just ignore the rest of what everyone out there is doing, like society, politics, and all of that nonsense that is not helping you. So that's it, guys. You can book a call with me with the link in the bio if you want my help. And that's it, guys. Peace.